It's therefore critical that certain media outlets stop spreading false rumors and creating fear and even panic with the public. It's just incredible. I could name them, but it's the same ones, always the same ones. I guess they're looking for ratings. I don't know what they're looking for. So bad for our country. And so bad, the people understand it. You look at the levels and approval ratings, and they're the lowest they've ever been for media. It's so bad for our country, so bad for the world. You got to put it together for a little while, get this over with, and then go back to your fake news. This is a incredible thing. A lot of times we have to stop playing this game. If a governor wants 200 ventilators, and I say, no, we're going to send you 1,000. We think you need more than 200. And then the media meets with the governor, and they say, oh, you got more? Well, it's not enough. The president should have sent more. So he's asking for 200. We give him 1,000. They say, how's the president doing? He should have given more, because that's politics. That's politics. And that's unfortunate, because we can't play that game. And, you know, that's one party doing it, and the other party's happy. But they're all really happy because they should have been doing this work themselves for a long period of time. Many of their cupboards were bare. We have no contingency plan. We're having the convention at the end of August, and we think by the end of August we'll be in good shape. We have no contingency. You know, it's going to be in North Carolina, as you know, in Charlotte. And I think we're going to have a great convention. I notice, I think we had an opponent, but I almost didn't know who it was. He got 0.00001% of the vote. But I heard he dropped out 3 or 4 weeks ago. I'm not sure. Maybe you could tell me. That's the kind of opponent I had. And hopefully we have another one just like that in Joe. He did a terrible job. Absolutely terrible. He took a whistleblower report, which turned out to be a fake report. It was fake. It was totally wrong. It was about my conversation with the president of Ukraine. He took a fake report and he brought it to Congress with an emergency, okay? Not a big Trump fan, that I can tell you. Instead of saying, and we offered this to him, no, we will take the conversation, where fortunately we had a transcript. If we didn't have a transcript with the kind of deception and dishonesty that were practiced by the Democrats, I might not be standing here right now, okay? Fortunately, we had a transcript, and it was a perfect transcript because even the lieutenant colonel admitted it was correct. Okay, wait a minute. You asked a question. So he took this whistleblower, and I keep saying, where's the whistleblower, right? And why was the whistleblower allowed to do this? Why was he allowed to be, you call it fraudulent or incorrect transcript? So we offered this IG. I don't know him. I don't think I ever met him. He never even came in to see me. How can you do that without seeing the person? He never came in to see me, never requested to see me. He took this terrible, inaccurate whistleblower report, right? And he brought it to Congress. We offered to have him see my exact conversation. It was all about the conversation, by the way. That was the whole thing. It was about the conversation, right? And then after he saw it, he must have said, wow, because as I've said it many times, and it drives you people crazy, it was a perfect conversation. So instead of going and saying, gee, this is a terrible thing he said about the president's conversation. Well, it was a fraud. I didn't say that. And by the way, you have the whistleblower. Where's the informer, right? And here's another question. Remember, before I gave the transcript, in other words, before I revealed the real conversation, where's the second whistleblower? Remember the second wait. There was going to be a second whistleblower. But after I gave the conversation, he just went away. He miraculously went away. Where's the informer? Because there was going to be this informer. Maybe Schiff was the informer. You ever think of that? He's a corrupt guy. He's a corrupt politician. So listen, I say this. Where's the informer? Remember, the informer was coming forward. But I gave. Because, see, I did one thing that surprised everybody. This gentleman right here said, boy, that was a shocker. I revealed the conversation. I got approval from Ukraine because I didn't want to do it without their approval. And they said, absolutely, you did nothing wrong. By the way, President of Ukraine, foreign minister, said he did nothing wrong. And over that, with 196 to nothing vote by the Republicans, not one dissenting Republican vote, dishonest Democrats impeached a president of the United States. That man is a disgrace to IGs. All right, let's go next, please. He's a total disgrace.
Did you run by your decision to dismiss the Inspector General by Senator?
We'll get off this because people want to talk about what we're talking about. But let me just tell you something. That's my decision. I have the absolute right. Even the fake news last night said he has the absolute right to do it. But ask him, why didn't you go and see the actual conversation? There was no rush. He said, oh, we have to rush it. He even said it was politically biased. He actually said that. The report could have been, you know who the whistleblower is, and so do you, and so does everybody in this room, and so do I. Everybody knows, but they give this whistleblower a status that he doesn't deserve. He's a fake whistleblower. And frankly, somebody ought to sue his ass off. All right, it's enough of the whistleblower. Go ahead, please.
The governor of New York today said that he is still desperate for ventilators and that he has accepted 1,000 of them from the Chinese government. Are you concerned that
what he didn't say is, okay, let me tell you what he didn't say. Two very good friends of mine brought him those ventilators, right? Two very good friends of mine. They brought them. If you'd like their name, I'll give you their name.
But should states and
No, but
cities
the
have
governor
relied
didn't
on
mention
China
that.
and Russia
It came
to supply?
through the Chinese, the country of China. But they were given by two friends of mine. But he didn't tell you that. Now, the governor also, you'll see when you read the letter, the governor also asked for 40,000. 40,000. He wanted 40,000 ventilators. Now, the governor, as you know, had a chance to get 16,000 a few years ago. He decided not to get that. The state of New York has asked for help. I've given him 4 hospitals, 4 medical centers. Then I gave him an additional hospital. Then I gave him military people to operate the hospital. They were not supposed to be COVID hospitals. The ship is not. Interesting thing happened with the ship. People aren't in accidents because there's nobody driving. There's nobody taking motorcycle rides down the West Side Highway at 100 miles an hour. People are away. So people aren't being injured. Now they're asking whether or not we could open up the ship for COVID. We have given the governor of New York more than anybody has ever been given in a long time. I'll just say, I was going to say in history, but in a long time. And I think he's happy. But I think that, because I watched what he said today, and it was fine. I wouldn't say gracious. It wasn't gracious. It was okay. I must tell you, Gavin Newsom has been gracious. Los Angeles, California, the job we've done, and all of California.
Why does that matter if they're gracious or not gracious?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But I think when we've given as much as we've given to New York, somebody should say nice. I'll tell you who's been very nice. Mayor de Blasio has been very nice. He understands what we've given him. We brought him some more ventilators, too, yesterday. But nobody has been given like New York. And I know he appreciates it. He just can't quite get the words out, but that's okay.
When he says that he needs 40,000,
Please.
What do you say to them?
Well, I don't know
How
much
does
about it. I
does
can only
removing
tell you
happen?
this. Here we have one of the greatest ships in the world, nuclear aircraft carrier, incredible ship with thousands and thousands of people. And you had about 120 that were infected. Now, I guess the captain stopped in Vietnam and people got off in Vietnam. Perhaps you don't do that in the middle of a pandemic or something that looked like it was going to be. You know, history would say you don't necessarily stop and let your sailors get off, number one. But more importantly, he wrote a letter. The letter was a 5-page letter from a captain. And the letter was all over the place. That's not appropriate. I don't think that's appropriate. And these are tough people. These are tough, strong people. I thought it looked terrible, to be honest with you. Now, they made their decision. I didn't make the decision. Secretary of Defense was involved, and a lot of people were involved. I thought it was terrible what he did. To write a letter? I mean, this isn't a class on literature. This is a captain of a massive ship that's nuclear powered. And he shouldn't be talking that way in a letter. He could call and ask and suggest. But he stopped in Vietnam. A lot of people got off the boat. They came back and they had infection. And I thought it was inappropriate for the captain of a ship to do. I don't want to comment as to whether or not, but I agree with their decision 100%. In the back, please.
Joe Biden actually just attacked you in a tweet. I don't know if you have seen it.
He just what?
Attacked you. He just said.
Well, he
that
didn't write
Donald-
anything. Look, he has people, he has professionals from the Democrats
Mr. President, let
writing.
me just read what he said. He said Donald Trump is not responsible for the coronavirus, but he is responsible for failing to prepare our nation to respond to it. How do you respond
Okay.
to that, sir?
He didn't write that. That was done by a Democrat operative. He doesn't write. He's probably not even watching right now. And if he is, he doesn't understand what he's watching. But just so you understand, it was very nice what they wrote out. I don't know, they released it at a strange time, sort of a strange time to release something like that. But he admitted I was right. And if you read the Federalist story, which most of you won't, because you don't want to, but you'd learn something, because if you go, it goes through a chart, times. I was early. Dr. Fauci, I don't think he's changed his mind, but he said it was a very important step when we stopped China from coming in from the specific area that was heavily infected. We'd have a whole different thing right now. So I don't really know what Joe Biden said. I don't really care. And again, I see every once in a while I'll say something, I'll make a speech, and then it'll be critiqued, and I'll get this beautiful, brilliant critique. Joe Biden didn't write that. Joe Biden didn't write that. He wished he did, but he didn't.
On the jobs reports numbers.
Do you guys ever stop? Do you want to keep going for a little while? Huh? I mean, do you ever stop? How many times you ask? And in many cases, it's the same. Actually, a lot of good questions. Go ahead. But keep going, yes?
Yes, sir.
So you're not going to blame me that I kept it going too long? People said, oh, he kept it. Every time you'll ask it. No, I mean, no, it's amazing. Tony, every hand went up. I thought we've gone through the I think every single hand went up the last time. You know what it shows you? It shows you that you love what you do. Go ahead.
We do love what we do.
You do. No, you do. And some of you do it well. Not all of you. Go ahead. I'm not looking at you, by the way. We have a good amount ready to move. I mean, literally, like an army. They're ready to move to any hotspot. But some of the ones that you're talking about, always a nasty question from CNN, but some of the ones, because I think that, frankly, because you know what, you've asked that question about 10 times over the course of about a month. And these are great loans. These are loans that get immediately paid off. These are loans that get businesses back. I wish you could ask a question where something's working so well. Now, maybe things won't work well, and I don't mind that kind, but where something's working so well, and you ask a question in such a negative way. It's doing great. Yeah, go ahead. It's doing great, really good. Maybe it won't in 2 weeks, and I'll respond differently, but it's doing great. You know it, and so does everyone else. Everyone's shocked how well it's doing.